All right, today on The Explainer, we're not just talking about biology, we're going to talk about building life itself, right from the molecular blueprint. We are diving deep into the incredible world of proteins. So you've got something as strong as spider silk, as dynamic as your own muscles, and as precise as the enzymes breaking down your lunch. What's the connection? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. They're all made of proteins, which are truly life's master molecules. These things are so diverse and so vital, they literally build and run every living thing. Okay, let's get into this. You know, the name protein actually comes from a word that means first or foremost, and that is for a really good reason. If you were to take a cell and remove all the water, proteins would make up more than half of what's left. But how can just one type of molecule do everything from being a building material to running complex chemical reactions? Well, to get our heads around that, we need to start thinking of them as magnificent molecular buildings. Every great structure, right? Whether it's a massive skyscraper or a complex machine, it all starts with the basics, the fundamental building blocks. For proteins, those blocks are these tiny little molecules called amino acids. So here's the basic design. You've got a central carbon atom. Attached to that, you have an amino group and a carboxyl group. And these are the parts that are going to link together to form the long protein chain. But the really interesting part, the part that makes each one special, is this, the variable side chain, what we call the R group. This is what makes each amino acid different. Think of them as individual bricks, each one with a slightly different shape, size, and chemical personality, all thanks to that unique R group. Now, here's what's just wild. Out of the hundreds of different amino acids you can find in nature, almost all of life, and I mean all of life, builds its proteins from a universal set of just 20 standard types. From a tiny bacterium to a giant blue whale, the same 20 bricks are used over and over again to create everything. Okay, so we've got our bricks, but just having a pile of bricks doesn't get you a house, right? You need a blueprint. You need a plan to assemble them. And for proteins, this assembly happens in 4 distinct architectural levels. So these 4 levels, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary, are basically the sequential stages of construction. Each level builds upon the last, taking a simple chain of bricks and transforming it into a complex, functional, 3-dimensional structure. First up, the primary structure. And honestly, this is the absolute foundation. It's the specific linear sequence of our amino acid bricks, all joined together by these powerful chemical links called peptide bonds. The crucial point here is that this sequence isn't random, not at all. It's dictated by your DNA. It is the architectural blueprint, and it determines everything, and I mean everything that comes next. Okay, next, that long chain starts to spontaneously fold. First, you get the secondary structure. This is where local sections of the chain start to organize themselves, often twisting into these elegant coils we call α-helices, or maybe arranging themselves into stable, pleated sheets. Think of this as the basic framing of the building, the first support structures going into place. Then comes the tertiary structure, and this is really the main event. The entire chain, with all its coils and sheets, folds and compacts down into a final, highly specific 3-dimensional shape. This complex folding is all driven by the interactions between those unique R groups. This is the point where our pile of bricks and frames actually becomes a fully formed functional building. And this whole folding process gives us 2 major classes of protein architecture. On one hand, you get fibrous proteins. These are like long, strong building girders. Think of the collagen that gives your skin its strength. Then, on the other hand, you have globular proteins. These are folded into compact, intricate little shapes, and they act like tiny functional machines, like the enzymes running your metabolism. But for some of the biggest and most complex proteins, the construction isn't done yet. Let's move to the final level and see how they build a true molecular megastructure. The quaternary structure is for the big leagues. This is when a protein is actually made of more than one of those folded chains we just talked about. These individual chains, we call them subunits. They all assemble into one larger functional complex. It's kind of like building a skyscraper, not as one single tower, but by joining several distinct, pre-made buildings together. A perfect example of this, hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen in your blood. It's actually made of 4 individual subunit chains. And this multi-part structure isn't just for show. It allows for this really clever trick called cooperative binding. When one oxygen molecule latches on, it slightly changes the shape of the entire complex, which makes it way easier for the next oxygen to bind. It's an incredibly efficient oxygen delivery machine. So we've built our protein through these 4 levels, and we've ended up with this unique, intricate shape. But, so what? Why does this final shape matter so darn much? Okay, if you remember one single thing from all of this, let it be this. Structure dictates function. That is the single most important rule in all of protein biochemistry. A protein-specific 3D shape creates these little pockets and grooves and surfaces that are perfectly tailored to interact with other molecules. Its shape is its function. An enzyme's shape is what allows it to bind to its target. An antibody's shape is what allows it to recognize a foreign invader. Which, of course, leads to a critical question. If structure dictates function, what happens when there's an error in the blueprint, in that primary amino acid sequence? Well, the consequences can be absolutely devastating. One single mistake can compromise the entire structure. And we see this in the real world. In sickle cell anemia, a single amino acid error in one of hemoglobin's chains causes the proteins to clump together and deform the red blood cells. In thalassemia, the genes for making the chains themselves are defective. These are all at their core architectural failures at the molecular level with very serious health consequences. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Every second, trillions upon trillions of proteins in your body are folding into their precise shapes to carry oxygen, digest your food, fight infections, and send signals through your brain. It all starts with that simple, linear chain of amino acids, but it leads to the complex functions that keep us alive. The architecture of proteins. Well, it truly is the architecture of life itself.